Here we are again, midday with Miami-Dade Parks. I am honored to be the host today with our very own Eric King,
Hello.
our interpretive supervisor at Costello Hammock Park Preserve and Nature Center. But today our lineup is all about sunset park experiences happen this weekend and great park adventures. And with that, Eric, school started today, so
Sure
kids are
did.
back in session.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Summer camp is over.
Summer camp is over. Bittersweet.
It is bittersweet for you because Costello hosted its first in-person
That's right.
camp with Camp Hummingbird.
That's right. Yeah. This was our first year doing in-person. Last year we did virtual camp, also called Camp Hummingbird. But yeah, we had a bunch of kids come in throughout the summer. We're building our base. So hopefully, I'm sure now, each season, winter, spring, next summer, we're going to have our group of kids, our core group of kids, and we're just going to build it up from there. It was a great summer, filled with lots of learning, lots of playing. It was great. Yeah.
It was great to have camp back at Costello.
Yes.
So thank you and your staff.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And Eric, I do have to say you have an incredible career with Miami-Dade Parks, and I want to share that with our viewers today. So
sure.
if you could share your park career adventures with us, that would be great.
All right. Yeah. So I am a 20-year veteran of the Parks Department now, which is really weird to think. I started right out of high school. So I started working as a camp counselor at Camp Manatee up at Reynolds Park in North Miami Beach. And then from there, it was just a slow progression of promotions and moving around a little bit. I became the director of Camp Manatee. I was the director there for 12 years.
Amazing.
And at that time, towards the end of that, I was kind of balancing park management at Reynolds Park as well. So when the time came that they needed a park manager there, I stepped in and I was the manager at Reynolds Park for 7 years. And something was just tugging at my heartstrings with eco. I had to get back to teaching about the environment, teaching about nature. So yeah, I went out for the first position that I could with eco, and I didn't get it. But then I eventually got another one and I got brought back. And somewhere in all that, I moved down to the Redland area. It's kind of a blur now. And was lucky enough to be placed at Costello Hammock Park, which is just a dream come true. It's just the most beautiful place. It was kind of a blank slate. So I was able to go in there with a lot of my experience and start fresh, just like we did this year with summer camp.
And you have really brought that nature center back to life. I mean, we have the Miami Blue exhibit that's there now. You have the beautiful sinkhole, not sinkholes.
Solution holes.
The solution holes,
yes,
right?
Often mistaken with sinkholes.
You're right. I mean, that little gem of a nature center in the Redlands area really focuses on birds and butterfly, but there's so much more.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Your experience as a park manager, right, when you were at Reynolds, allowed you to venture into event planning.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Yes, I ran the Reynolds Park Love-In. I've worked at every single Reynolds Park Love-In, if you can believe that. I think there's been, I don't even want to say, I don't even know.
Many.
There's been many. But then when I became the manager of the park, yeah, that was my baby. I was running it every year. And you're talking about an event that brings in anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 people for some good classic rock. I think they're doing it again this year.
They are. The Love-In is scheduled for this year, October 3rd.
Cool. Yeah.
At Reynolds Park. And we're going to give you some more details coming up on an upcoming Monday. So
okay, cool.
We'll bring event information on the Love-In soon.
Yeah, but I'm sure you want to talk about my event that's happening at Costello, right?
I do, because as naturalists, we really focus on connecting the community to nature.
Sure, of course.
But with your skills, your talent, you bring something very special to our naturalist team with Miami-Dade County Parks Eco Adventures. And you've started this series really focused on folk music.
Yeah. So I'm a folk musician as well. And I kind of saw just a gap down there. There weren't a whole lot of events that were bringing people all together to learn about music and history. And I really thought that Costello was the perfect backdrop for that sort of event. So this is the Sunset Folk Music Series at Castello Hammock Park. We are on our third one. We had two in the past. They happen quarterly, so our two past were very successful, and now we're going into our third of four. This is going to be a really exciting event happening on August 28th. That's on Saturday from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
And I think we have a flyer on that. If we could post that up while Eric continues to share some great event information, but check that beautiful flyer out. Sunset Folk Music Series, and it's happening this Saturday. So tell us a little bit more: pricing, time. What can we expect as the sun set and then the musician gets ready for their set?
Yeah, so the event starts at 6:30, so a little bit before sunset, and it'll kick off with our Florida. He's Florida man in the most positive of ways. So his name is Grant Livingston. He's a very popular folk musician down here in South Florida. A lot of what he sings about and writes about are Florida things. In fact, he has a song that's called "Look Out, That Man's Got a Mango," which I think all of us can relate to. He has a song called "Malaluka." So he writes a lot about South Florida. He's a wonderful musician, so he'll be kicking off the night playing about an hour-long set as the sun sets.
Amazing.
So that's kind of what happens there. After that, once the sun is down and everybody's kind of relaxed in the field out there, then we usually bring in a presenter of some sort. And this week, we're going to have Gary Bremen. And I'm really excited about this because Gary Bremen is a National Parks Ranger with Biscayne National Park. And he is an amazing storyteller. So we haven't quite had the storyteller come yet to the folk series. We've had a photographer, we've had someone who was a presenter, like a historian, but this is a whole different ball of wax. He is a storyteller, and he's bringing stories of our national parks to us that night. So he'll be telling us stories. He's been all around, as park rangers with the national parks are often, they move around a lot. So he has a bunch of stories about a bunch of our different national parks. Many of these stories are going to be accompanied by the music of Grant Livingston. So it just kind of, it's perfect melding.
It is, when I think of folk music, even in the name folk, it's about people, right?
Absolutely.
And so the storytelling really talks about the people, the era, the history, and then the scenery. And I really think Castello, when the sun sets in that Redland art agricultural area, is really, really spectacular. And I think we have a download that you're going to share with us. I don't know if this is a good time.
Yeah, well, before we do that, this is a song by Grant Livingston. I spoke with him the other day, and he gave me permission to use this song. But this song actually has a really beautiful intro, and you mentioned how folk music is about storytelling, right? So it's really important that when we listen to folk music, we know the stories behind these songs. So as you know, we have two national parks in Dade County. We're very lucky in that sense. We have Everglades National Park and we have Biscayne National Park. And now Biscayne National Park is a string of mangrove islands. If those of you out there don't know, it's a string of mangrove islands in the eastern part of Biscayne Bay. So those islands today are much as they were hundreds of years ago. There's just these beautiful mangrove islands. But the thing is that back in the 1960s, there were some people who had the good sense to oppose some really bad ideas. And that idea was to build a bridge over to Elliott Key, which is one of those islands, and develop it, much like we have Miami Beach today and Key Biscayne. So there were many people who took a stand against this. And there were a whole bunch of other things threatening Biscayne Bay at that time as well. But this was one of the big ones. And one of the people who took a stand against this was a woman by the name of Juanita Green. And Juanita Green, she was a young writer for the Miami Herald at that time. And she heard a developer say that, and I quote, "Those islands are so little used, they would not be missed."
Wow.
And when Juanita heard this, she said to her, those islands are like a diamond necklace, not something that you need to wear every day to appreciate its value. So Grant heard that analogy and he wrote this song coming up. It's called These Diamonds by Grant Livingston.
So sit back and enjoy the tunes that are going to inspire our sunset folk music. So sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, let's jam.
These diamonds, there's a story behind these diamonds. Your grandma kept them in a velvet box inside a drawer. These diamonds in a green velvet sea, they're just like islands. They could have brought a pretty penny in their time.
That's great story.
If we sold them, we sure could have used the money. But one day all that money would be gone. And Grandma said we can't be poor. Just look right here inside this drawer. And once a year, she'd put them on.
That's so beautiful.
How they sparkle, how they shine. Handed down to you and me to be their keeper for a time. But these diamonds, these little islands, how they sparkle, how they shine.
I visualize this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, he's a very visual storyteller. Yeah.
There's a story behind these islands. Your grandpa sailed me out to them when I was just your size. These islands in a green velvet sea, they're just like diamonds. They could have brought a pretty penny in their time. And we could have filled them in and built a city. My grandma could have sold those jewels she prized. She kept them safe and so did we. These diamonds, these mangrove keys, so you can see with your own eyes how they sparkle, how they shine. Handed down to you and me to be their keeper for a time. But these diamonds, these little islands, how they sparkle, how they shine.
That's
so
excellent.
Many generations have passed these heirlooms down so easily they could have sold them. So very much more beautiful to hold them. How they sparkle, how they shine.
I mean, I'm already getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be their keeper for a time.
These
diamonds, these little islands, how they sparkle, how they shine, how they shine. These little islands, how they shine. These little diamonds, how they shine. These little islands, how they shine.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, it's
And as we fade the tune, I have to say that, I mean, just when you listen to folk music, your toes start tapping.
yeah, oh yeah.
Right? Your shoulders start
two-stepping,
swaying.
right? Yeah.
I mean, and I had the pleasure of joining you at one of the Sunset Folk series. And let me tell you, as that sun sets and the musicians start playing their set and the storytelling begins, it reminds you through their stories about preservation, conservation, the stories of we could have lost these little gems. And this music keeps that alive. Using art, music, really becoming an interdisciplinary love of what's around us, which I think is so important, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
And I mean, and just to think that our South Florida is hugged by 2 national parks, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's, I don't know if there's any, And I could be wrong, but I don't know if there are any other places
I don't think
like
there's
that.
any region like that
Yeah.
where we have 2 national parks.
And they're so different too.
They are.
Which is incredible. You know, they look nothing alike. I mean, you're in one side you have Biscayne Bay, which is mostly aquatic, and the other side you have these vast expanses of that river of grass that we all love.
And then in between, you have Miami-Dade County parks, but then all of our municipalities that are really connecting. I mean, our hope through the Open Space Master Plan is through greenways to be able to have these connectivities, these corridors, these green corridors where we could connect these national parks. And then, of course, now we're working on our water access plant, where now not only do we have greenways, but we'll have waterways to make those connections as well. So when we hear music like this, story like this being told through music, it's a reminder that what we do today really impacts the future.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Right? Because you are an artist yourself. So one of the things that you have brought to Miami Eco Adventure at Costello is that opportunity to just sing around the campfire.
Sure. Yeah.
And I know you offer several programs like that. Yeah. So bring out your guitar.
Oh boy.
Because I would love to see it.
Wasn't planned at all.
No, you just carry that guitar with you all the time into a studio.
Me, of course.
And I know during the summer for Camp Hummingbird, you brought your gifts and talents to the camp, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you can ask any of these campers. Half the time I'd be walking around strumming, making little songs about each one of them. I'm not going to do that today.
No songs about me, please.
But, actually, coincidentally, I brought my camp guitar. So I call this my camp guitar. It is the one that I bring to camp. And this is really special to me. This guitar has a story. I received this guitar from a fellow naturalist with Miami Eco Adventures many, many years ago. Like I said, I've been around for 20 years. It was in their father-in-law's attic, and she didn't play, so she asked me if I wanted it. At that time, it didn't have any of this writing on it at all. But one day, when I was at Camp Manatee, the camp that I was the director at for some time, one of the kids who was an aspiring artist came up to me and wanted to draw on my guitar. And I had seen their work. I said, sure, go right ahead. And they went ahead and did all that. And so still to this day, I have this artwork. And if that person ever becomes a super famous artist, I'm selling this. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm not selling it. I'm never going to say it's priceless, right? But it even has my I Love Camp Manatee sticker on it. I got to get a hummingbird sticker on it.
Add that on there.
Right.
I see that the model on the guitar says "Play Me," so let's do this.
Absolutely. And this song here that I'm going to play is a little bit of an ode to youth. So this is in honor of all our summer campers.
And of course, going back to school too. It's just perfect.
Yeah, perfect, right? And I wrote this one day at Camp Manatee while I was observing some of my campers, as a camp counselor should be doing, and just really being impressed by their connection to nature that was forming. And my thought was that if you're connected to nature, you could remain young. So this is about two of those campers named Gilad and Paloma. Gilad and Paloma lived their days inside the dome, eating Hercules leaves and cocoa plums. They paint their faces and tell stories to the gnomes, and to compensate, they'd remain young, but oh, will they ever grow into the trees, the kings of the forest dome? While you and I, we pave our own road, from bed to work to home. Gilad and Paloma kept their distance from a man with a big top hat and a frigid hand. Oh, how he pursued them, but they stayed one step ahead until he became entangled in a strangler fig. Gilad and Paloma made an ultimatum. That man accepted immediately. He said, I've bathed in the shade of the trees. Now like a bee I'll sniff and sneeze pollen and live inside your forest dome and dance and sing in the sun. It's out. Let's go, 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 go. So they removed his shoes and gave him rouge-berry painted boots. They showed him the window into youth, to be young, 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 to be young.
Wow. I mean, here we are, park professionals bringing gifts and talent that really, really, I mean, just exemplifies the work that we do when we bring our gifts and talents to the park.
Thank you,
Eric. And you've really added some great elements to Costello Hammock Park Preserve and Nature Center. So thank you for sharing your talent.
you.
And I do have to say, due to COVID, we do have limited seatings, right?
Yes, we do. Yes.
So how do you register? How do you get your event tickets?
Of course, yeah.
So do you want to share that?
Yeah, MiamiDadeParks.com. You're going to scroll down to Sunset Folk Night, and that is where you can get your ticket. You do have to register an account like everything these days, but that's where you can get your tickets, MiamiDadeParks.com. Just for the record, it is an outdoor event with plenty of space for social distancing. So you're bound to find a place where you can feel nice and comfortable, depending on how you feel about everything that's going on. So MiamiDadeParks.com, scroll down to Sunset Folk Night.
Right. Remember, create a link through Park Link. You could include all the adults in your family. Again, you could schedule for great programming, the event like today. I do want to say, Eric, I recommend either a blanket or a chair.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're also welcome to bring a picnic basket.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that we really prohibit are glass bottles. We don't want glass bottles in the park. But yeah, bring your blanket, bring some food with you, and just get relaxed and enjoy the music and the storytelling as that sun is setting. And let me tell you, I mean, I know it's the same sky, but there's something about the skies in Redland.
I agree.
When the sun sets, it's just beautiful out there. So
it really is. So I look forward to meeting you out there at Costello Park and Preserve on Saturday, August the 28th.
That's right. 6:30 p.m.
6:30. I was just going to say. So the show kicks off at 6:30.
That's right.
And it's for all ages.
It is, yeah.
So please, I mean, it's great to see the children dancing in the open park green space.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's really a beautiful sight. It really is.
The first event we had some dancers out there. It was really fun.
It was great. Well, stick around, Eric, because we have some great park activities happening as well this weekend. And I want to make sure that I share this information with all of you. So first of all, did you know, let's put our first little flyer up regarding Zoo Miami. I did not know this, but you could visit Zoo Miami every Monday until September 27th and only pay $15. $15 plus tax. Limited number of tickets are available.
Wow. But
how great a Monday deal up until September 27th.
That's when I like to go places. I like to go on Mondays. I'm usually off. And that's the time to go because it's not as crowded, you know. That's great. What a great deal.
Yeah, what a way to, you know, start your day.
Mhm.
And all of those preschoolers or homeschoolers, if you're looking something to do, visit your Zoo Miami.
All right.
So let's plan ahead. Just sticking to the zoo theme, we do offer a zoo kayak tour, and that's taking place September 11th. This is a beautiful tour in the back roads of Zoo Miami where you get to see the Pine Rocklands and also kayak in this beautiful lake right behind the animal exhibits.
Yeah, and I've done it, and it's exquisite. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah.
And you'll have a guided tour with the naturalist, so you get to hear the incredible wild sounds from the animals at the zoo, and then get to learn about that critical habitat that Zoo Miami is doing such a wonderful job to preserve. And let's head out to Eco Adventures.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's happening at Eco Adventures? I do have to say that they are offering the Bay to Waterway Kayak and Boat Cruise. This is going to launch out of the Crandon Marina. This is a very neat experience. So you get to ride on a boat, launch from the boat into a kayak. So you get a cruise and kayak adventure, and that heads out from Crandon Marina. For all of those needing volunteer hours, we also have Volunteer Day, an Eco Action Day, or you could even try archery at A.D. Barnes Park and Nature Center as well. So you have an opportunity to either help clean up that nature center and that preserve area, or stick around and learn some archery. Also at Bill Sadowski out at Palmetto Bay, they have Kayaking 101. So if you want to explore kayaking, we have great waterways here in South Florida, in Miami-Dade County. Test out the waters with Kayak 101. And in your park, you're giving free nature walks.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we do it every Sunday.
And what's your favorite part about that nature walk?
Oh, it's the solution hole.
I knew it.
Yeah, the solution hole is where it's at. I mean, Castillo Hammock has all these just big holes in the ground, and I know that just sounds really simple when you say it just like that, but when you see one, it's really incredible. It's just, they're so beautiful.
So I have to say, walking the trail and the storytelling by your staff there, H and Angie, just the way they connect you to nature and real life activities as well, that they really bring the element of nature when you're walking through the trail, but then you take a little bit of that with you when you go
absolutely.
home.
Yeah.
So
we have
my
a great
hats
team
off.
there. Yeah.
Hats off to the Costello team. We also have a plant giveaway happening with Million Trees Miami. This is going to be Saturday the 28th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon while the plants are available. So you can pick up your free seasonal vegetable plants and herbs, and that's taking place at Homestead. And you see the flyer right there. Thank you, producer.
I plan on going to that. I hope so.
I do want to let you know that Sunday adventures are also taking place. We have the Coral Gables Waterway Tour happening at 10 a.m. Seats are still available. Well, that's with our partnership with the Coral Gables Museum. If you missed archery on Saturday, you can pick up archery at Bill Sadowski Park on Sunday.
Right.
And to go along with your sunset folk music on Saturday, you could continue your sunset experience with a kayak on Sunday with a spectacular way to end the weekend at Crandon. That launches out at 5:30. Again, please register at ParkLink with miamidade.gov/parks or also miamidade.gov. And very important. So this is the last thing I've got for you, producer, is I want to make sure that our community is aware that we have the last call for nominations for an incredible event called In the Company of Women. We are accepting nominations until September 3rd. And if you don't mind, producer, I just want to bring up this county website. It's a quick submission process. But if you know any outstanding woman, she could be a pioneer in the science, in the business area, please submit. You have until September 3rd to nominate that incredible woman in our Miami-Dade County area and let them be in the company of women. Nominations close September 3rd. Well, Eric, why don't you pick up your guitar and let's close this segment out. Let's put back that Sunset Folk Music Series flyer up there so you could purchase your ticket. Ready, Eric? Let's close this out. We want to welcome all of our community to join Miami-Dade County Parks, create your park link, and be part of great park experience, especially this Saturday, August 28th at 6 p.m. at Costello Park and Preserve for the Sunset Folk Music Series. Always something special happening at a park near you. See you next Monday.